Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today is Halloween and I'm totally unprepared for the occasion. That said, we are not really celebrating Halloween here. Traditionally, we are celebrating St. Martin, and that's on the 10th of November. Not yet. But, well, all these traditions are mingling all over the world, and I've thought about dressing up for the occasion, but I am just coming home from work, and I think you'd rather have me as is than not at all or in the total dark. It's already getting dark outside now, so let's make the most of the light right now. Today I'm wearing my papillon knitted shawl, which I haven't knit myself, but which I'm loving. I'm loving the colors and I'm loving the look of it. Very Art Deco like, and the pattern is a very popular pattern and can be found on Ravelry, for instance. Today I have for you no finished object, but my works in progress, which is two blankets and a new project on my hook, which is a commission. And I've been away, as you know, or you might know, and I'm going to talk about my trip a little bit, and I've bought something while I was away, so I'm going to show that to you as well. Let's start right away with whips. The gift of Christmas Cal is still going strong. I'm making these squares. This is a free pattern by Anita Gibney, and it's on Black Sheep Wool website, and you can find it also on Ravelry. The gift of Christmas Cal with a C, because it's a crochet along. And well, we're getting all these instructions every week, and I've kind of stalled on the bobble squares. This is my first one and it took a lot of time, so I'm really wondering, is it worth the effort to make all these bubbles, or should I rather just should I just rather do plain squares, or do another of the squares which we get the instructions for? So not sure yet. This is my last square. I've done that before I was going away even. So it is still going strong, but at the moment my focus is on the commission and on the other blanket. And the other blanket is the Victoria throw. It has grown since you've seen it last time. I'm working with cotton yarn from Hobby and also from Søstrene Green, the Green Sisters, the Danish company. They have lovely cotton yarn colorways. And let me show you the blanket. The center you know, and and at the moment I'm working here on the next rows. I think I am at row number or round number 90 something, 92, 93, something like that. And I'm at the moment using mostly bluish colors because I thought that the center was a little bit too much contrast, especially the yellow. But now I'm working through my blue shades, and then later I will return to these dark and brown colors on the further parts. I'm supposed to do little flowers here, but I think I will leave those out. I prefer the blanket to be less well, I would like the blanket to be a little bit calmer than the original pattern suggests. So I am going to use the blues and a little bit less embellishment. I am enjoying this so much. Really a brilliant pattern. Did I mention it? It's by Jen Tyler, who is the Floral Hook on Instagram. So that's my second whip, and the new whip is something, let me show you. I'm using a 3mm hook size, and that's part 1. And you're probably wondering, what's this? Da, 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 da. Can you guess? So this is the beginning of the body. I've made the tail. Okay, I'm going to attach the tail probably somewhere here. And I'm making this up as I go along. I've started making a foot with little toes. And I'm busy working on the second foot. And I'm filling it with this stuff here, polyester filling from Hobby. I've also bought the yarn at Hobby. So what I'm going to do is to make a little white patch for underneath the foot. And also there's going to be a belly patch. And obviously I need still the arms and the face, the head. So it's all in the making. I'm using Hobby Daily Stitch cotton, 100% cotton, in this pink colorway, which is, does it have a number or a name? It's color 13. And to go with it, I've got also the Daily Stitch cotton in a lighter pink. I think I prefer this lighter pink as a belly patch than the stark contrast of white. But I did buy some white, so this is too much of a contrast for my liking. So I will probably use these two colors. And this is obviously a toy for the little boy who's going to see the come into this world in December. And my sister and brother-in-law asked me if I could make this toy, which is obviously nothing you can buy at a store, so it's hopefully special. They chose the melody. I've bought the that musical box inside here. I bought that at spieluhr.de. You have a list of about 30 tunes which you can pick, and each music box costs around €8 plus the postage. So it's also quite reasonable price, and let's hope that this will be turning out well. Since I'm not using a pattern, I don't know if I can make it look like the Pink Panther, but I'm trying my best. I have until Christmas, so I'm well in time. Now let's talk about incoming. I was eagerly awaiting my Murid magazine, and here it is. The first magazine got lost on the way between Scotland and Germany, but Alison was kind enough to send me another copy, and here it is. I can finally start on my project, which I've chosen to make from this issue. This is issue Autumn-Winter 2024, and I want to make, or I would like to make, the Moth Lantern sweater, a pattern by Simone Francis, and she was using Iona wool. It's quite a heavyweight wool. This is what it looks like in the magazine. And it has overlay crochet or surface crochet. I believe I've got some dark green yarn somewhere. Is in not chunky, but more like an Aran weight, and this would be perfect for this project. So I just have to find it in my stash. There are so many beautiful projects again in this issue. The theme is fables, and I especially like the illustrations, I must say. Like this here, the wolf. You know, I even got or made this project bag together with my mother, with the Little Red Riding Hood theme and the wolf, the fable theme, especially for the sweater project, all in anticipation. The designers who contributed to this magazine are all listed in the back, and I would like to say congratulations to all of them for putting together such a wonderful work of crochet art. Murid magazine. They have been at Rhinebeck this year, Alison and her mother Vivian. They've been to Rhinebeck, and they just published a little episode of their podcast and talking about their experience there and who they've met, and it's really fun to watch. So go and have a look. Keep Calm and Carry Yarn is the name of their podcast. Now, I've been to 4 places in 3 hotels. My first hotel was in a place called Amorbach, and it's south from Würzburg, Aschaffenburg. The area is called Franken. And I think in English it's Franconia. It's a very small town, village rather, but it has the residence. It's not a castle, but it's like a manor house of a family von Leiningen. They are related to Queen Victoria and the current English or British king and his family. That was quite interesting. There's also an abbey which we visited, and we took a tour of the abbey with a guide, and there was the ballroom. The colors were in green and white. It was really beautiful. And there was a library, which was also very interesting. The floors were wooden, and they had a special effect pattern to it. Wherever you went, it always looked like there were squares in front of you, and the further you looked away, these patterns were leaning towards you. Also, there was an upper level, but you couldn't see how to get to the upper level because it was hidden behind a bookshelf. So it's a secret passage, two secret passages, and the books were only painted on the doors, so it looked like a bookshelf, and it was really fun to have a look at. Also, the exit of the library was also, you could close the door, and then it looked also like a shelf, a bookshelf, and they had a bit of a tongue-in-cheek. They had painted the books on it with titles like The Atlas of Undiscovered Continents and things like that. So it's something which doesn't really make sense and can't exist, but nevertheless they made fun of it. And that was Amorbach. Our hotel was super 4 stars, modern inside, but in an old building right at the town center. And they had a festival going on, so we had to park our car in the former stables of the Counts von Leiningen, and that was fun as well. The stables looked a little bit run down, and we don't have horses there anymore, but still it was a special experience. After Amorbach, we went to a place called Iphofen, which is just an hour drive away, and they are, in general, the area is famous for the wine and the vineyards. So in Iphofen we stayed in a hotel which was also, it was run by a vineyard owner, and he was trying to sell his wine, obviously. I myself am not a wine drinking person, but I enjoyed the place. Iphofen is very small, but it has lots of beautiful old buildings with wooden beams. In England you would say Tudor style, but it's obviously not Tudor, but you get the idea. And there is a old town wall, a stone wall around the center, and it's just beautiful. We walked a lot, cobblestones and all. We arrived on a Sunday, but the shops were open because they had a special festival there as well, a religious festival, and people actually had opened their gardens for the visitors, and they were selling their second-hand things, like little knick-knack things, whatever they had. Lots of them were actually selling things for Christmas already. And then there was a shop with antiques, and I bought 2 things. I've bought a plate, which looks very fancy. I don't know, I'm in these romantic what's the company? It's very small. The plate design is called Jutta, and it's from Weimar, which is a place in the east of Germany. And it says made in GDR, which means that it was made in the, what's it in English? In German it's DDR, so East Germany. So it's not really that old, but it looks old. And I really like it. I just like it. It looks like little stars here, and I'm going to bake cookies for Christmas, and they're going to be placed on this beautiful plate. It has golden edges, and yeah, I love it. I can't really say what it says here on the back. No idea. I need glasses. So that's one thing. And then I've bought something which needs this key. It's something which you can play with. I haven't actually tried to wind it up yet, but it's for my dollhouse. It's an old style car. I think this is not working, but it looks pretty. And I'm going to put it in front of my Victorian dollhouse and Edwardian dollhouse, sorry. And it's going to be fine. It didn't cost much. So that's that, but obviously I've also got some yarn, but not in Iphofen. I visited Bamberg. After Iphofen, we drove to Bamberg, which is another hour and 1.5 hours away. Bamberg is a student place. It has a university. It has very old buildings as well, with cobblestones and wooden beams. Again, Tudor style kind of buildings, and also 19th century buildings, obviously all kind of buildings, but there's a river running through, and some of the buildings are built on an island in the middle of a river, and it's connected with bridges. So I will just show you at the end of this video what it looks like. So when it says Bamberg, you know that's that place. And in Bamberg, I went to a wool shop. I found it by accident because it was on the way between the parking place and the center of town. And it's called Wolllädler Wolle. Wolllädler. Sorry, again. Des Wolllädle. She is dyeing herself with wool. It's a lovely, beautiful wool with a halo, and it shines. And this is 70% kid mohair, 30% silk. It's 300 meters per 100 grams. She is, if you go to Bamberg, then go to Kleberstraße 5, and there you find her shop. We were lucky that she had opened the shop because it was bound to open at 2:30, and we were there 1:45. But she was sitting in front of the shop having a chat with a friend, so she said, "Oh, no worries, I will just open early." So I got this. I love the color. And I also got 2 balls of yarn, rowan felted tweed, which is obviously nothing special to her shop or to the region, but I thought the colors would go well together. So I'm going to have to come up with a plan of what to do with this wonderful wool. After Bamberg, oh, I also bought some Lebkuchen in Bamberg, but I'm not going to show you. Anyhow, after Bamberg, we drove to our last hotel, which was in Coburg. Now, Coburg should tell you something, because the husband of Queen Victoria came from Sachsen-Coburg, and they are all over the place in Coburg. Images, their names. We went to a cafe and had an English cream tea. There are statues of them, and there is a castle. Coburg is built at the foot of a mountain, not really a mountain, but like a bigger than a hill, smaller than a mountain. And there's a castle on top, which is called Feste Coburg. In fact, I've got an image here. This is Feste Coburg. And we went there on our second day, and there are exhibitions there from hundreds and hundreds of years of those people, the barons and counts and whatnot, what they've collected, their carriages, their sleighs, their knight armors, their glasswares, the rooms in Tarjas made of wood, the artworks. There were collections there from, let me just see if I can show you some of these things. This is how it's positioned there on top of a hill, and there's Coburg at the bottom. And there are from, when it's called, 1513, so the 16th century, lots of paintings from that time. They are oil painting, oil on wood, like planks, wooden planks. And also, well, it's a castle, so you can also have a look at the castle. Lots of different parts in this castle. And I didn't take any videos inside the castle, but I took videos from the top of the walls down. The view was stunning. And this was also very impressive. These well-known paintings from Lucas Cranach of Martin Luther and his wife. And there was also here like a golden ship, which was a centerpiece for your table when you had guests. And so many things. A whole room where the walls are made of wood, all covered in wood, in different, images made of wood, different colors of types of wood. It was so amazing. Also, these kind of paintings from, when was it? Before 1500. And yeah, you're standing in front of such really, really old paintings, and you can't believe that you're looking at this, that these are the real ones in front of you. So it's really beautiful. Then again, knights in armor, and the room where Martin Luther actually stayed. Glasswares, There was Rembrandt, Pablo Picasso, Venetian glass. This is a candelabra. Is it candelabra? Like from the ceiling, made of glass. Weapons, all kinds of old weapons, and like an armor for the hunting dogs. Crazy stuff. A golden carriage, sleighs for the winter time. Yeah, it's just so much. At the end we said, okay, we can't take in anymore. We have to go outside and take a little walk and let it just all sink in. So Coburg. Coburg is a wonderful, wonderful place. There's another castle in the city center where Queen Victoria also stayed when she visited. She visited many times. We didn't go in there. We've left it for our next visit. It was just so much to look at all these things. There is an opera house, a theater, many shops, and there's also a yarn shop where I went. The lady there, I don't think that she was a knitter. She was just selling the yarn in the name of the owner. The owner wasn't there, which was a little bit unfortunate. But I did find some beautiful yarn, and I believe this comes from the UK. I couldn't find anything specific for Coburg itself, but I found this one here, which is fiber spades. This is merino and silk fiber spades, scrumptious 4-ply in this beautiful colorway. Sorry, it's really getting dark outside now, so you have to believe me that these are beautiful colors. This is also fiber spades, but vivacious 4-ply, hand dyed. So again, somehow during my trip I bought these salmon and burgundy colors. I felt inspired. I think before it goes totally dark outside, I will call this enough for today. I hope that you enjoyed your trip to Rhinebeck if you went there. And if not, then I hope you enjoyed your projects at home and that you're looking forward to a lovely cozy season. Not too long now, and we will have Christmas. Is that a scary thought, or are you a Christmas enthusiast? Before I'm going to have Christmas celebrations though, I'm having another trip planned for the end of November, beginning of December, and I'm going to take you along for that as well, because we're going to Munich Knits. I mentioned it in my previous podcast episode, and I hope that we will find lots of beautiful yarn there as well. Not that I need more yarn, but I can have a look at it, I can squish it. So that's all for today. Enjoy your evening, your day, your morning, whenever you're watching this. And I hope that you're going to stay and you're going to watch until the end what my trip looked like and what I saw, what Claudia saw during her trip. Keep well, keep safe, and talk to you soon. Bye.